barrier. Okay, I had some problem with other channels, but welcome to everybody everywhere. This is Dr. Rao. I have a very interesting topic I want to present today. This is something I talked several times. It's kind of a bread and butter kind of thing, right? So it's about doing more versus being no thing, but just our being. So it's basically this phrase. This is like a Jan bell in the silent temple of the self. It's big S, right? See, this echoes the timeless shift from activity to awareness, right? From effort to essence, from ego to emptiness. The sacred journey from the human being to the being that simply is, right? So let's reflect on this. See, from doing more means in modern life, we wear busyness like a badge, right? So more tasks, more roles, and more goals. So we become defined by the output, titles, achievements. Even in wellness, the doing can become compulsive. More meditation, better breath work, longer yoga, like that, right? Yet the more we chase, the more distant we feel from that inner stillness. See, what does it mean by being no thing is to be no thing is not to be empty in lack. Okay, it is to be full of presence, unbound by labels. See, nothing is the sacred void, like, you know, uh, the womb of creation, where the doer dissolves and the pure awareness shines. The sages said, "You are not what you think. You are not even the thinker. You are that which is aware of thought." The nothingness is freedom. It's not passivity, but potent stillness. It's a not disconnection, but deep union with all that is. Okay? See, when you have this practical living of the shared, you pause before every action, breath into being, and observe the doer, the one inside who always wants to fix, prove, achieve. Smile at it, you know, and rest in silence, not as a practice, but as your native state. Rest in silence. Ask daily, am I operating from the noise of doing or the clarity of being? See, the metaphor here is, look at the drop of water doing more. It may stir a ripple, right? But a drop that merges with the ocean is the wave itself. So my journey kind of sings this truth. So that's why I want to present it here with uh, details of modern life, of doing more, and the suffering from doing more, and then look at being as the catalyst to go beyond suffering to pure joy. That those important things are involved in this. Okay, so it's like peeling away the layers of the modern illusion to gently expose the wound of compulsive doing. That's what is our life is, lots of time, and reveal the medicine of being, just being ourselves. Let's walk through um, the examination of as a reflective sutra. um, in three parts. One is the reality of modern doing. Number two is the suffering it breeds, and the liberation of being. See, the reality of modern doing breeds suffering, and how do you liberate yourself from the suffering? By being. So, if you take the part one, the reality of modern life, doing more, being less, right? Modern life is an assembly line of ceaseless motion. Workflows flood inboxes or emails, and calendars are booked at the brim. And multitasking is practiced, but attention is fractured. Even leisure is scheduled, tracked, and judged by metrics. So, in this world, people are judged by productivity, popularity, and possessions. Rest is guilt inducing. Stillness is misunderstood as laziness. There is a cult of self improvement, but a crisis of self awareness. Doing becomes the default identity, not a tool, but a trap. Now, the suffering of perpetual doing is when doing becomes compulsive, it gives rise to layers of subtle and overt suffering. It is, we can look at this way. There is a physical suffering. People get chronically fatigued and from overextension and poor recovery. They become tense and inflamed as cortisol surges through constantly on our bodies. That is the result of the tension and inflammation, okay, because of the cortisol. Sleep disturbances, minds that won't stop running. I listen to that all the time. And then a lot of gastrointestinal disorders. The gut absorbs the inner unrest. You're so unrest, your gut will be flowing, right? Then addiction to stimulants, caffeine, sugar, screens of the phones, the iPads, or the laptops. That is the physical suffering. Fatigue, tension, sleep disturbances, GI disturbances, and the addiction to stimulants. Mental suffering is you have the racy thoughts. Okay, the to-do list never ends all the time, one after another. Right? Fear of missing out, FOMO, feeling of left behind or unseen, and perfectionism, compulsive overachievement fueled by inadequacy, and then lack of focus, fragmented by constant switching, overwhelm, drowning in options, data, decisions. These are all the mental suffering people go through. Emotional suffering, anxiety, always preparing, never arriving. Irritability, the nervous system is frayed and raw, right? Loneliness, disconnection from the self and others in the rat race. Burnout, my deal is chronic stress without meaning. And then envy and comparison, the disease of measuring one's worth externally. So, those are all the emotional sufferings. And spiritual suffering, loss of inner identity, confusing self worth with the performance. You always confuse your self worth with performance, right? Then you feel alienated from the presence, living in the past or the future. I talk about present moment awareness all the time, right? Then ego inflation or depletion, always needing to be somebody. Then you have the absence of silence, no space to hear the still voice within. Then forgetting one's essence, mistaking doing for being. Now, once you are in the being, the portal to joy beyond suffering is, in contrast to doing, being is not a negation of one's life's duties. It is the ground from which right action flows. Okay? So it's not laziness. What is being? Being is a presence without performance. It is existence without expectation. It is awareness untouched by doing, your original state. So being can be the alchemy for you. It can transform effort into effortlessness action. That is the karma yoga. Melts the egoic I into the universal I am. See, ends resistance, the root of psychological suffering. Okay? Infused joy into the now, not as reward, but as a reality you are joyful to begin with. And then activates inner intelligence, intuitive, creative, peaceful. So that is the being as an alchemy, right? But the benefits of being are clarity, the noise settles, vitality, energy conserved and channeled wisely. Peace, nothing to prove, nothing to chase. Love, natural compassion arises when the ego dissolves, right? And fulfillment, not in doing more, but in being whole. So, being is not against doing, it is the source of wise, aligned action. It's a wise, aligned action. So, the reflection here is, see, the way out of suffering is not through more doing, but through deeper being. Ways to inward, not outward. So, this transition, not doing more, it brings you not because you are passively withdrawing, but you are returning to yourself, okay, your inner self, inner essence. Okay, that is the diamond I talk about. So after returning from there, every action becomes a secret, every moment infused with meaning, and joy becomes independent of outcome. That's the important thing that people have to say. Okay, so that is the topic I was to talk about today. Many people do not know how to be themselves. You know, many sages, including Ramana Maharshi, talked about don't think too much, don't do too much, just be. Don't meditate, just be. That's a very extraordinary statement that I heard. The just be, not to meditate, just to be, not even to think. So, have you had an experience like that? Have you tasted it and then wanted to come back to it, but the modern life is kind of making all the problems, and also a lot of people don't realize they are suffering, like I showed you, the body, the mind, the emotion, everything, spiritual suffering is there. So reflect on that, you know, and see what you are doing is really robbing you of the vitality of the life and stressing you out, and not really be in the joyful mood whether you do something or not. It webs up within you, you know, and the people who establish that, they always go there. Okay, you can't entice them with money, you can't entice them with titles, you can't entice them with prize or anything. They themselves have walked away from this persistent thinking, persistent doing, and always left like I have not done enough. Okay, so that's why if you go to a retreat, what they tell you is put your phone and iPads away. That's the first thing they do, you know, and that's a good thing, right? And then they create activities for your body, for your intellect, for your emotional, and for your spiritual needs. So they make you, you know, vitalize your body, mind mechanism, and also open up your heart with a lot of service attitude activities, and then they will present spiritual talks or videos or discussions that will open up your inner self by calming your mind down. Okay, so if I were to, I was planning uh, a spiritual retreat in a land. I'm going to get there and put in a small ashram, right? A small house where we'll have this big hall where all these activities are going on according to the level of the person, right? Then they will be starting the morning routine. They will be doing the yoga much more than um, what they are used to. And as they are doing, they end up in the present moment awareness, and they engage themselves of opening of their mind, opening of the heart. It could be musical um, engagement, or it could be something like uh, any number of activities like meditation, like really spending time with other people in a satsang where you are engaged in truth pursuit, not according to anybody's statements, but allowing your mind to go into truth. So the ultimate thing is not doing things, but also really resting, identifying and resting in your inner being. Just be. You don't have to achieve any particular course or like a syllabus or nothing, but you just work with your body, with your mind, with your just allowing your mind to rest in that silence, whereby you kind of touch your inner self and then just be. Don't allow your mind to run. Don't allow your heart to be desiring a lot, and don't allow your body's aches and pains and all, because that is where you have to move from the physical layer to energy layer to thought layer to heart, and then going into the enjoyment, the joyful being. This is something you can feel when you get up in the morning and then allow your um, whole presence to be come out, and then continue the whole day in that, um, and just work with yourself wherever you are, whatever you are doing, right? Don't think about the past, don't think about the future. Just every day you say, this is the day I'm going to celebrate, I'm going to enjoy, I'm going to really make sure my chattering mind is not going. And then I'm not doing things and then planning things out, but just touching your inner self. Okay, this was based on what I recall also what Ramana Maharshi said. One's attention has always to be poised on one's inner self. Okay, that is the being where you are. So anyway, I don't want to go too deep into that. I already enumerated a lot of three parts. One part is you realizing that you are overdoing it. So understand the implications of that in civilization way. Why we are having so many things, but we don't have the peace of mind. Why we are having so many relationship trouble. Why we are having so much mental illness growing. All these things, right? So then you would also figure out this only doing all the time is producing suffering in our lives, in our bodies, in our minds, in our hearts, and also, spiritual self, right? So having understood that, you kind of say, see, the way out of this suffering is not through more doing, but through deeper being. The way is to go inward, deeper, not upward somewhere. Okay. So anybody wants to come and talk about this, please be my guest. I'll be happy if somebody comes and talks about this. As if they are doing it, share it with us, your experience, and tell us how it felt taking a break from the doing. So whenever you have a retreat, That's what I tell my friends. One friend of mine who was a major actor in Indian cinema, he acts in 13 languages, right? So he's well known in India. But he had been doing all the stuff all the time, right? So he wanted to come and spend some time with me. I said that would be like a retreat for you from your normal activities, you know. When they come, kind of, I want them to put everything aside and then try to live in the present, try to touch that being, try to be established in that, you know. So it's very hard for them, but then with my uh, careful companionship and then pointing out, he was able to do that. And then at least he understood he doesn't have to open the devices early in the morning, but deep breathe and then establish himself, and also watch his thoughts throughout the day so that they won't go beyond it. And also do one task at a time with complete attention. If you are walking, if you are eating, if you are brushing, anything, right? And also, if you have questions, deep certain questions in the afternoon, we sat down and then I let him explore his own mind, how deep he can go, what are the deep questions that he had, what is that he wanted to find out, you know, not to get answers, but to engage our mind into deeper questioning mode. Okay, don't expect anybody's answers just like that, but you know, engage yourself in deeper questioning, that kind of thing, you know. And he did, and he was able to have clarity. He was touched the silent self a little bit at least, and he also had a practical ways of not doing more all the time, you know. He did what is meaningful. He did what is important for him, but lot of other things that he is not paying attention, they are getting into his mind and then bothering him. They were cut, you know. So even entertainment, do you need entertainment or do you need enlightenment? Okay, so the mind that is organized, that has a purpose, doesn't have to have entertainment. Think about that. If you have an organized mind that is in awareness, that has a purpose, a bigger purpose, you are more than happy that you have got the chance that you pursue that, if you are able to, you know. Otherwise, you engage on that. And definitely multitasking, no. I taught him how to be single task attention, right? And then how do you rest? How do you allow your body and mind come back to the vital self? You know, um, that was there, and his mind doesn't have to worry about so many things. And even if they come up, how to deal with them. So it's like a practical way of uh, doing every day with what is happening with your body, what's happening with your mind here and now, what's happening with your heart, and what were your, you know, persistent problems in your mind, in your heart, and all that. You know, what are the activities that is encouraging this neurosis in the modern life? You know, how could you avoid all the digital toxicity by really knowing what is the digital world treating you and how you are going in there all the time. So I'm an informatician. I use the devices, but they're only tools, and then they are completely, I'm in charge. It's not like I do unconsciously anything. Anybody can do that, you know. So that is that. Nobody has any questions on this. This is your life, modern life. You are leading every day, you know. Neelam, how are you? I haven't seen Neelam for a while, you know. So this is um, our modern life. I'm an informatician, so I use computers, devices, and also I teach people how to use EMRs and electronic medical records, right? And also now AI. I'm using a lot of AI tools to make my work much simpler, right? And then that is happening, and I have more time to really end up myself self inquiry. So I don't do meditation anymore because I don't need to. My mind is quiet and staying there in the being. So I'm aware, thoughtless awareness, right? So what I do is what is called self inquiry. This is a method of Ramana Maharshi popularized it, but it was there. See, the people who have various types of spiritual activities that they do to calm their mind, to be in the present and all that, right? But the beyond meditation, beyond mindfulness, beyond all that you do, um, you self-inquiry is where you are doing your own inner reflections or something. A thought comes and you inquire, where is this thought coming from? You are inquiring yourself into that. And once you realize it is coming from your inner being as the source, then you ask, who is this source? Is that inner being or your, restless mind? So once you find out that is coming from me, but I'm not the mind, but I'm that inner being, then you already establish in yourself. Whatever the mind has, restlessness, too many scattered thoughts and everything, automatically you don't go and establish yourself in the mind. But beyond the mind, that self that is there. So a very important thing to practice to be in that awareness which is thoughtless. You're aware. You don't have any thoughts there. And then thought comes. Suppose you are seeing a tree. You are experiencing the tree and you are enjoying the tree. And then thought comes saying, oh, this tree is beautiful. This is compared to the old tree like this. This is going to probably wither away after a while. I wish it has a bigger trunk or better, more branches, more leaves. All that is your thought working on. Just let them come in and let them go. And then you be with the observation of that tree. Who is that observer? Again, thought. So you are going beyond that observer also. And see, like I said right in the beginning, you are not even the thinking, you are not even the thinker, but you are that awareness in which thinking happens. Okay? So then the thinking is observed. Like in the morning routine, I tell people, do the yoga with me, stretch and breathe, but be aware of what's going on in your body and be aware of the breath sensation on the nose. Thereby, you are observing any thoughts that come up and then you won't indulge in them, you won't suppress them. You will let them pass like clouds in the sky. Because you are the sky, thoughts are happening within you. You are the awareness of the sky, and clouds are happening within you, and you are observing them. If you don't, if you get involved, then that is when you get into the network of thought that is already goes from one thought to other thought. What we are doing in modern life is we use that thought continuously, and thereby we are becoming neurotic. We are doing the same thing again and again without any meaning. So to get away from that, understand you is the inner being in which thoughts are happening. You are observing them and you are staying in the silent resource of the being, which is very, very much energetic, joyful, happy. That's one. Don't take it my word. Go and experiment with it. See where you are, that kind of. So somebody better come up and tell me something that this makes sense or not, for you. This is very important for us because this is not out there. It is happening. I see people with stress, with burnout, with a lot of troubled minds, and that is leading to depressions and suicides. That is leading to anxiety. And the important thing is, it's not only preventing the stress and the suffering, but they are not tasting the joy that is of being human being. And you are in that being, you have unfettered joy welling up, you know. So that is the tragedy of the modern life is we are not introduced to that. We are not really allowed to. Otherwise, human life can be very joyful, uh, happy. Even though external circumstances are different, you have that web of joy that is coming up, and then you can do stuff. You can improve your talents, your skills, and everything. But they don't define you, right? They don't define you because you are already happy. You are already abundant. And with that abundance, you go and do everything. See how much relief that is. It's not like a achievement or something that have to be done, but your way of doing things, everything you do. You eat with awareness and then enjoying the food. You walk slowly and consciously. You know, you kind of do something for other people, do it with full heart and giving them service. So anything that you do will come out through the being, is not calculated, is not transactional. That is all mind, and that is taking a backseat, right? So that is the aim of this. It's unfortunate in modern times we know so much about science and so many things. We have so many things that we could really enjoy, but we don't know how to enjoy ourselves, our inner being, the tranquil state, the really joyful state, the silence, and all that. That I enjoy that very much. I talk about that is blissful, that is a blessing, like, because you don't feel egotistical, because ego is gone, then only you have the joy. Otherwise you'll caught up in the thought made ego, and then you will never be able to do that. Okay, so this is an important topic, that's why I brought it up. And this is how the ancient lived, and ancient experienced that, and they have several ways to deal with the restlessness, to deal with the lack of love, to deal with alienation from people, loneliness, and all that. And they, because they always knew that they're part of the whole, everybody. So they are not never cut off from the wholeness. That's why there is no loneliness. Okay, so very, very important things to understand. Okay, this is where I say modern life is there, but the way that we take modern life for granted and do things all the time is something you have to take a look at it, reflect on it, and take your own rest and uh, step back. Don't do more. Do the most important thing in a very focused way, and then step back and look at yourself and see, are you touching that inner being or not? If you are, then go ahead and really enjoy that. See, there is a Sanskrit saying, when you really understand life, your role in it, your relationship with the world, with the other people, and yourself, your relationship with yourself, if you have the harmony in that, then they said that once you understand that with this wisdom ways of the ancients, then you'll have what's called Atyadika Dukkha Nivritti. Atyadika means extraordinary, very high. Dukkha means suffering. Nivritti means you will be bypassing that, or you will be transcending that. Because you understand what is causing suffering, why I'm yielding to it, what can I do. That all that knowledge is knowledge. It's knowledge that can bring you. It's not your conceptions, but it has the intuitive feeling of that. And then not only that, but Paramananda Prapti. Parama means extraordinary, Ananda means ecstasy, happiness, joy. Prapti means you'll gain. So not only you transcend the suffering, by understanding how you are doing more and more and more with the body and mind complex, but never touching your inner being, and you will suffer a lot. But by understanding these principles and understanding this reality, then you will be doing less and you'll have less suffering or transcend suffering, not even less, transcend suffering. Therefore, there is no suffering in that sense. And then you'll also have the uh, gaining of extraordinary joy. You're joyful, you're blissful, and you kind of share that with everybody. Okay, your mind is in your control, your body is in your control, so you can fix them very easily. Mhm. I really focused on this from the standpoint of doctors visiting me for the stress and burnout that they were going through the um, uh, hospital industry, I call it. Whereas when they discovered this, they went back with their mind in their control, not forcibly, but understanding, and they revived their spirit of service, which is very meaningful for them, you know. And also, they discovered they don't have to have anything, just sit back and be themselves and really understand this serene, calm silence that you can feel and then be there at any time. Okay. Actually, that helped me in a very, very tough situations, right? So they saw that, asked me, I kind of showed to them, but then they didn't get it in the beginning. But as the suffering has increased, they were forced to do this. I said, don't get into all this unnecessary data. Try to give some time for yourself, sit down and reflection, and don't do multitasking. And also see what is your life purpose. Who are you? Why are you here? Examine those deep existential questions. Out of the questioning and your answer, then you will have a new perspective. See, that's what happens when people come to me for the burnout situation, like that actor from India, and everybody, whoever comes in that profession, they are allowing the busyness of external life consume them. So be wise and don't be burned out, don't be stressed out. You don't have to, you know. And then, but you have to do a lot of understanding, a lot of work, and a lot of maybe different priorities, different perspectives, and you have to have the transformation from the burned out, more doing. No, more doing is not going to do that, but just be. See, first time when I heard that, you don't have to think, just be. Don't meditate, just be. Don't accumulate a lot of knowledge, just be. That just being itself. There is another sentence they said, to really know who you are, you have to die to what your persona you. You have developed a persona about yourself, all thought made. You have to die to that to really know who you really are, your inner essence, your inner soul, your inner self, biggest, right? And once you lodge it in that self and work from there, you guys want to have discussion through the mind and agree so many concepts, that is not going to stop anywhere. You got to have the silence. You got to have the serenity. You have to have the calmness in the mind. Put it all them down and then go. So this, in a way, they call that samadhi, where you come to slowing the thought, and from the slowing thought to one thought, and stay with one thought more than 144 seconds, and then you will go into the awareness that is thoughtless, that is here and now. If you can stay there for a while, that is the samadhi they talk about. There are so many varieties of it, but modern life, if you just do 5 to 15 minutes in the morning, but a lot of people cannot stay even for a minute. But if you can be with yourself, thoughtless awareness, and be in that samadhi for a few minutes, it's extraordinarily good for your physical and also mental and emotional health. I mean, I made a statement, doesn't mean that you have to take it. Go and find out, go and work at it, and then experiment that, and then learn more about it. It's not about taking medications. It's not about being somebody's slave, saying that he is my guru and I'm going to be slave. No, you got to do your inner work by yourself. Okay, not according to somebody else's Freud or somebody is thought made concepts. No, it's about you yourself, not using your intellect, not using senses, which go out, but the intuitive feeling that you have about I am that I am. Right? Once you have that, then it may take who knows how much time. It may take years, it may take a few months, few weeks, or this spot. Eckhart Tolle had that on one morning, early in the morning. So it could be like that too. Okay? Spontaneously happened to people, but then people got to that and they stayed with it, right? So you crowd are very disappointing, right? Nobody wants to come up and talk about this. First of all, does this make sense? Have you had any experience of it? Do you agree that we do more in modern life? Do you agree that we don't have to do that? Especially now AI coming, AI is really you know making our job much easier right. But then they want to more and more invest, more and more doing all that. No, that is supposed to help you to relieve yourself and take. That's what I do. Then I do the AI for my routine things, letters, emails, whatever. Then they're done pretty quickly, automated and all that. Then I can just do my self-inquiry every day. People can do self-inquiry for hours and hours. So ecstatic, so joyful, so beautiful to do that. Um, Hello, Peter. How are you? This kind of practice is in the beginning very difficult to start, but once you have started, you will see that flows into all your activities, your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual activities, and that they take a beautiful transformation. And you will not be exhausted by them because you are doing one at a time and you are doing with complete involvement. Then that's one thing you can easily do. Am I doing multitasking or am I doing one task at a time? Question yourself. Don't say, oh, I do very well. No, then you'll pay for it down the line. But try one task at a time and see the quality of energy you have, how you are not exhausted by multiple things. You say, oh, I'm capable of doing it. No, you don't understand how the mind works. It will get to you sooner or later. So there are so many things you depend on, getting approval, getting validation, getting recognition, titles. When they are all coming, you're okay. But when they stop coming, which will happen eventually, then people are crushed. But they are allowed this bad habit of doing so many things at a time. They don't have the attention that is required to be with your inner being. That's the loss. Okay, it's not about mentally clever or shrewd or erudite. Mind is really out of it in this awareness, which is a thoughtless state and serene state. Peter, at least you come up. All these people are shy or they don't like me or what? Whatever. Get tired of it sometimes. Why do I come and talk about these people? Nobody's interested in these things, it looks like. I could do more self-inquiry on my own, Oh, something happened to you, Peter. It says,
Okay, it worked.
yeah, finally.
Namaste.
This is a major topic and a very current topic. See, say people think are brainwashed to think, oh, you do more and you will get more.
Nope.
No.
I've tried it.
Yeah. So
I've tried it.
yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think of that statement? Don't think, be. Don't meditate, just be.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Especially since, when I started meditating, I got so into it that I thought like that was it.
Mm.
And until I realized, actually listening to you, that was not it. Right.
Yeah.
And started to let go of it slowly but surely. And I was a little bit resistant. I can remember it was in September last year. I was listening to you. I was kind of resistant to that because I'm like, oh, wait a minute, Dr. Rao, this is how I got on the path. You can tell me to give meditation up. And you said, no, I'm not telling you to give meditation up. I'm telling you to stay in present moment awareness.
Yeah.
And then you later clarified that if thoughts are racing and your mind is going, then that's when I can use meditation.
Yeah. The important thing is you are the sky, Peter. In the sky, so many thoughts happen, so many clouds come and go.
Yeah.
But you don't identify with one lowly cloud. Let them pass. Don't identify. Use them when you need, otherwise let them pass. Then you remain the big sky of awareness. That is so huge that encompasses everything. So as you are learning to observe the thoughts that make you depressive, the thoughts that make you egoic, the thoughts make you, oh, I am so big deal. They are not there. So consequent suffering will not be there because you are out of that.
Yeah.
You don't depend on thoughts in that sense to give you an identity because your identity is different. But you use the thoughts well. Yeah. Like, for example, I'm coming and talking about these topics. I could easily say, oh, I'm such a big person and all that. But doesn't happen because that is not there, that kind of mechanism.
Yeah. I think for me too, you hear so much about purpose. I mean, they sell courses on it, right? And you write books about finding your purpose. And I believe that our purpose is given to us, right? And it's just a matter of us aligning with our purpose, right?
Yeah, alignment.
It's a matter of just diving deep and picking out this or what are my likes and dislikes. Those are all important. But I think our purpose is established long before we even know the name.
Yeah. See, the ancient looked at it like this. For a human being, the purpose is to find out this inner self. And your job, your whatever inner calling, that all coming in, that comes through your own intuition that this is why I want to do this, I want to have that. Then you are so focused on that purpose that is for the life. But the real purpose of a human being is because he has the intelligence, he has the cognitive thing and everything, he can realize he is beyond all these faculties. And then use the faculties to achieve whatever you want to achieve.
Right.
There is something else they said. If you want to serve the God, the greatest thing you can do is do your duty.
Okay.
See, like surrendering to it and then telling that, okay, this is what it is in my life that I will be. And everything, whatever you do, becomes the service.
Oh, nice.
And then becomes very meaningful, everything you do.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, like I said, they are very evolved in this because they went inside deeper, and we can do the same thing too. So when they first said, Ramana Maharshi, whatever I did, you all can do yourself. I thought, are you kidding? you know, I thought really that was something tall order, But
big time.
yeah, but the thing is, when you really realize that that's there within us and also do that, then what he said made sense. Really made sense to me because what he said was practically can be done by everybody. All you have to do is keep quiet and turn inward and study yourself with your own intuitive nature, not your cognitive thought, and that will go all over. That will bring theories, that will bring all sorts of conceptions. And all. That is where the Western way of thinking has lodged itself, and that's why they can do so much technology, but inner human nature, human suffering has getting worse, not better. They don't want to be identified with that, but then that is actually what it is, right? So they can talk about, oh, I have all this uh, excellence in my intellect, and I can find answers to everything. Look at the scientists that are working on this, on the consciousness, and where they are going, and they could do a lot with the artificial intelligence, but they themselves are telling me that they cannot make it conscious. So they cannot feel, they cannot experience, they cannot do on their own. That's what some people are worried about machine learning. Eventually, they become machines like in the movies, and they will destroy us. No, what is a lot of democratic things will be eroded because people can get into that, right? So it's a question of not doing too much, but just being us. Hi, Caroline. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. So all this talk about AI.
Yeah.
And I'm older, but I got to tell you, I think it's a little crazy.
Yeah.
No computer.
Yeah.
At least my lifetime is going to be able to think the way humans do because we are chaotic.
Yeah.
We are unpredictable, for good or for bad.
Yeah.
But there's an essence in us, in our chaos, that leads to our creativity, our epiphany, our breakthroughs.
Yeah.
And I don't think a computer can simulate that. And I think we as humans, we should celebrate that creativity, that uniqueness in each other every day.
Look at all the artists and everybody's songwriters. Everybody is really thrown out of jobs because these computers are creating too. Now, I'm not talking about the creativity, but the consciousness, Caroline. We are conscious. See, that one I don't think they'll have.
No, and so I'm a farmer. I can't write a song or write a poem or do anything like that, but I can grow food like nobody's business.
Yeah.
There's no way a computer or machine is ever going to be able to understand Mother Nature the way that I do and react to it the way that I do.
That's it. That is the human. That's being conscious and all that, That is
exactly.
It can never do that because the quality of your experience, how you feel about these things, that cannot be replaced.
Right. So sometimes I feel like telling everybody else on the planet to just take a really big, deep breath. Count to 10. It's all going to be okay.
Well, that
We
is a
all
visual
have special.
thinking, because there are a lot of things already done by the computers that is laying off several people too. It's happening.
Right. But there's so many other things that a computer will never be able to do.
Yeah.
That we are still capable of doing. And I think if we just take a moment and take a deep breath.
Have you taken anything about AI, Carolyn?
No. And
Okay.
for the love of God,
yeah.
Every time I get on the phone, and when you're stuck with a computer,
yeah.
I will be open and honest with you. I get a little angry pants and I end up yelling at the stupid computer. Not that
yeah.
the computer doesn't understand I'm yelling at it, but I'm so mad. I want a human being.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, sure. I can understand how you feel. yeah.
No, but they can't understand, and they have a preset.
Yeah.
Number of parameters they go by, and it has absolutely nothing to do with why I'm calling.
They're already using that on us. Okay, like what kind of books you browse, they will say only those kind of books. What kind of movies, they will show that. And then China, they have this facial recognition. So if you go anywhere in that city or whatever Carolyn did, they know everything.
Well, the beautiful thing, guess what?
Yeah.
The only thing around me, chickens, ducks, cows.
Yeah.
So
you're more into nature. Yeah.
An AI camera out here.
Yeah, nature. No, but the thing is, these people are getting all these cameras into everywhere. There's hardly any privacy left. That's why they are very worried about the privacy. That is there too.
Well, but we as humans, we have a choice. You can shut it off.
Carolyn, not to be left out, go and take a preliminary what is AI, what it can do, it cannot do, and that is very useful for you down the line, because you can be your normal human being related to nature. That's excellent. I am also like that. I always am touching with whatever nature I have around me, even the grass, how it is growing, that kind of thing. That really makes a difference. But there are a lot of things are going to be done. But I'm not more about this technology, but I'm more about taking charge of ourselves. I can understand what you're talking about, being a human being. That's what I want to be. Be the self that is what it is. So we all have that instinct that we want to be natural. We want to be related to the nature. We want to dictate our own destiny and all that. I think that will be okay, but the making living and doing our stuff, a lot of them are going to be replaced by AI. So prudent thing would be to see what this is, how this is going to go. Otherwise, people with AI will replace you in so many ways that living itself is going to be pretty tough. That's what people are talking about. Anyway, a lot of dilemma is there, and I'm for being natural. I'm for being human being. I'm really having our humaneness preserved. I agree with you, Carolyn, there. But then I also study all the technologies to see how they're going to affect our human being, human mind, human body, and all that. In that way, I use technology in a very practical and productive way. Especially, I'm a physician, so actually, ChatGPT made doctors' job much easier. Research is better with the perplexity, and we can do a lot of stuff that we were doing by ourselves, manual stuff that is taking the drudgery away. So you got to learn it and use it properly. But for me, it's just a tool. I don't identify myself with that, even though I have spent a lot of time and money and energy to learn that. I only use it as a tool. I want to be a human being. So when I go to the patients, I kind of touch them, I kind of greet them, I kind of hug them, I kind of examine them, and all that human things. That actually, this is something I teach other doctors. I'm kind of elderly senior doctor, right? So young people, young doctors, I tell them, the more humane you are, that means you come back to your inner being, inner human being that you are, with kindness, compassion, friendliness, all that. Then you can use the technology to diagnose them, to help them, give various treatments that are diagnosed. But then this connection with a human being to human being is something I never left it. That is the art of medicine, right? But the science of medicine, we can use it, but then you heal better when you are a human being to the patient. That is what Caroline also talking about. Be in touch with nature, be in touch with the life, the chickens and everything that's going around. That is the life, and you be human being, be kind to them, be considerate to them, like that. So I'm glad that she brought in the technology piece. That's also overwhelming people. That's one of the reasons why we are so overwhelmed with a lot of work. Also, the more technology that says this is all going to be easy, actually that is increasing more work. iPhone has increased so much work, right? People are have so many emails, so many alerts, so many notifications, and all that is. I can talk about digital detox, where only once or twice emails, not every email. Only the emails that I want to deal with, I will only pay attention to that. Not to every email that comes across, right? So that is something important. So understanding the technology and using it as a tool that it is, and also if you don't have to use it, don't use it, right? That's very important. Michaela, okay. Hi, Michaela.
Dr. Rio.
How are you?
I'm doing better since my appointment. I'm just, trying to get some sleep and stuff. I probably
Good to you. Yeah. What can I do for you, Michaela? I think we are missing each other because I'm getting noon is a lunchtime when I told you I can talk to you, because otherwise I'm occupied, So
right, and then I work Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So what's a good time now?
No, tomorrow 1:00 my time, Central Time is good.
Oh, 1:00?
1:00 Central Time, Chicago time. Okay.
Okay, so it's 1:00.
1:00. Yeah, that's a good time. You can call me at that time.
Okay, because I go to work at 2. I will call you for sure for tomorrow at 1:00.
Very good. We'll talk then. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Sure.
And I keep listening to you.
Yeah, sure, Michael.
Yep. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too.
Yep. Bye-bye. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Okay. So anybody else wants to ask me anything or want to tell me anything like Caroline did, you please come up. And otherwise, I will stop here. And there's a lot to talk about. This is a modern problem. And a lot of people come asking for, really get out of their head, like lots of things, right? So doing too much makes sense. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Dr. Rao. Just wanted to say hello.
Hi, how are you?
But just wanted to say hello and thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you. Any questions? Anything you want to ask me or tell me about?
I could ask, for example, what would be one key takeaway that you would like the listeners to be left with from your topic tonight?
One thing is, watch when you get up, do you switch on the phone or not? Don't do that for at least half an hour. And then before you go to bed, half an hour before, put the phone away.
Very good. Very, very sound.
Yeah.
I'm sure that helps a lot. So.
And also that half an hour, Laura, take deep breaths and establish yourself in your own presence. See, don't let the thought take away and plan everything and all that. You can put it on the device and follow those things. But what happens is, the moment you start the thought mechanism, rather than being aware of present moment, the thoughts weave a network and they take you on that. So many people are getting burned out by that. More thought, more thought, more thought. Versus you be in the presence and then use the thought for what you have to do. And after that, learn to end it. This is a very good exercise because these phones are getting so much information into our head from morning till evening. That is the same thing we continue night and then in the morning again.
Right.
That is overthinking and too many information overload. We don't need that. We can take what is important and then investigate on that. But we don't have to have everything under the sun. Why? Why should we put in our mind?
Yes.
Yeah. That is one thing. I think you put it very nicely. A practical thing is, don't be engaged by the external world through the phone.
Yes.
Go to it with a purpose. This is what I'm going to do. 3 things I'm going to do today, and do only 3 things.
Yes.
And
I think that's quite realistic.
Yeah.
30 minutes, at least 30 minutes when you wake up and 30 minutes before you go to bed.
Yeah.
To keep the phone away, out of sight, and just take deep breaths.
Yeah.
And so
that's what I do. In the morning, I get up and then I establish myself in my presence, here and now, what's happening. Okay. And then I carry that through the day with attention to only one task at a time. I do a lot, but still I kind of don't go through too many things, and then only important things I do. And in the evening, what I do that half an hour is I empty my mind. Whatever I kind of gathered during the day, if it is there, I kind of empty that.
Yes,
and
yes.
You sleep better. And also, in sleep, what happens is your physiological mechanism detoxifies your mind and also your body. If you
detoxifies mind and body, yes.
Body, because they're deep sleep, no? Deep sleep. That's why.
They're so interrelated, the mind and the body, aren't they?
Start with silence in the morning and then sleep on silence. That's a good process because you yourself are helping to detoxify a lot of things. See, I'm 70-year-old, but I'm so active because I allow my circadian rhythms, my natural rhythms clean me up. Good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Sure, Lara. Very nice question. Very practical, very useful. People can start with that. So.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Have a great evening. Are you Eastern zone?
Yeah, and I'm in the central zone. Iowa.
Okay.
Iowa. Yeah.
Probably still kind of evening anyway.
Yeah. It is evenings.
Have a great evening.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, that's a very good question Laura put in. And actually, my friends who are coming to morning routine with me, they see that. They see that we do that. I tell my students or followers or friends, whoever is doing with me morning routine, the morning routine is a reverse engineered routine that I put in there, looking at so many people stressed out, so many people coming for burnout. I get them, right? From that, what I saw is they are not readying their body, mind, and heart for the work. And also they go and take whatever comes from the work without getting ready, not to react, and just to really do one thing at a time. and also see kind of prioritize what is important to be done, what is not, all those things, right? So they're kind of the mercy of the working conditions, mercy of their own inner reactions, which produce a lot of. So I say, okay, categorize or two A's. One is you want to be aware, you want to be in the present. That is what you want to cultivate in the morning. This device is not looking at them helps, right? And also, when you are working with me, I invite you to be here and now in this moment. Okay. If the thoughts come, you bring back your attention back to your nose and the breath. That is how you practice awareness during that half an hour or 1 hour I do morning routine. And then align your body, mind, and your brain, all the three. So that is three B's, two A's and three B's. And then I talk about A, E, I, O, U, the vowels. A for awareness, E for energy we generate with our stretches, with our deep breathing. Okay. And I is we have an insight how our thoughts are running, how our body is having tensions, all that insight into your own body, your own mind will happen there in that hour. Then you improve them. Okay. And then O is like a primordial sound. Any sound, if you really allow it to reverberate with you, that itself healing. Okay. It doesn't have to be religious only, but it can be religious if you're religious, or if you are not, you can use instrumental music, which is really helps you with that vibrations. Okay, I make some breathing exercise that also do that. You know, and the last thing is you. You is you are the piece of that universal consciousness. That is the being we are talking about. You know, once you understand and stay there and really anchor yourself for the inner being, that is what we do it. I am this conscious being. When you're taking a deep breath, when you breathe out, you kind of dissociate that you are the body and mind. Normally people feel I'm the body, I'm this mind. No, they are your instruments. You are the inner spark of life, right? That is the one we call God or consciousness or being or energy, whatever you say, you know, that essence that gives animation to the body and mind. You want to anchor in that. That's what we achieve. That is the real yoga. Okay. So you get your body ready with energy, and you get your mind ready to be in the present moment while you are working. You open your heart with service so that people will get the service from you, and you feel good that you are contributing to the life. So when you go to the work with a purpose of service, when you go to the work saying that I'm not going to react to everything, the deep breathing makes you non-reactive. So throughout the hour, we do the deep breathing. So if you go there with a purpose of service, if you go there to be here and now with whatever you do, that means you get one pointedness to whatever you do. That really doesn't breed stress or burnout. And also, you are not going to react to things as they happen, but more like responding to the responsibilities in a proper way. So all these things are done in the morning report. You know, it's not just an exercise. Exercise for the body, exercise for the mind, exercise for the heart. All these things we do. So come and attend them and then see how that works. But follow everything I'm talking about. And also, I don't engage in conversation, but we do it. I do it for myself, and I also make my friends do it, and they do it, you know. And whoever does it sincerely, and you cannot allow your mind to go somewhere, you know, vagabond. You got to be in that moment. And that is what I want to serve. So in the morning, when you don't open the devices and allow yourself to be present, and then carry that like a fragrance to the work, that helps you a lot. Okay. So try to be in the being. Don't overdo things. Do things with a being. That's then you are always in the being. Okay. Thank you. And I will stop here, and I'll see you again some other time. Okay. Bye bye.